this one, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so talking to you about this incredible new moon in Cancer, and also these solar eclipses and things, and we got eclipses coming up, you know, till the 11th of August here, so we're really letting go. And for those of us who have tried and managed to let go of a lot, here is where you cash in. Here's where you cash in, and whatever that means to you is whatever it means to you. It's an interesting time for money. It's a very humble and human time for relationships. It's a beautiful time for sensuality. It's a beautiful time for friends. It's an incredible time to get ahead. It's a great time to try that new career. It is a great time to get known. It's a new time to get radical. It's a beautiful time, but there has to be also a little bit of compromise maybe. And on occasion, when you know that you've got something great and it feels to you a gem, it feels to you special to your heart, and it feels to you very special to the greater journey. And also keep in mind, this is not just for you, but for the greater collective. If it feels like it feels good, not just for you. So it's not an addiction. It's not satisfying just for the time being. It's actually satisfactory on all planes, and it is all inclusive. When you have something and you know it is good and it makes sense with your greater journey in mind, and it makes sense to you and it feels great to you, why not? Why not? But there has to be a letting go, of course. And with some of this, it's like this. It's like something comes in, and on occasion you have to travel there to get it, or you have to make a choice, or you have to put something aside, or you have to make something for another time. And there's lots of things happening during this time which are really on time. And this is all about trust, and I've been telling you guys through the blog, especially recently in the recent weeks, just to trust and elevate out of the previous patterns of behavior. So for us, for some of us, there's new addictions that are seen now, perhaps an addiction to work, addiction to social media, or just an addiction to be that type of yourself, like that type of you, or that type of person, or that type of presence in someone's life. That should now be over. So I hope that you are still perhaps counting more on faith than on you to do things sometimes, because as I've said in a previous prognose, there's been a little bit of a momentum, and we're sort of like on roller skates here. And I've written this in the blog for this week, that there is a greater increased chance of things. By that, I don't mean only good chances, I also mean bad chances. So if there are stories that have gone wrong, if there are things bubbling over and that are terrifying, or that are not connective to you, and you've been kind of maybe hiding yourself a little bit with this person, with this presence, with this situation, it will all now come to a healing edge, and perhaps it will become even more clustering in a bad way, like clustering and sensitive in time, or it might actually unwind. But the thing here is not to count on things to be good for you. Okay, so this is quite a easy one to understand. So it's not like it's good for me because my mom told me this would be the best thing to do. It isn't good for me because I don't feel good. Okay, so it's not about going forward with the job that you feel will keep you there or give you money for life. It is more about going into the varieties of experiences that perhaps can be related to your bigger mind or bigger cause. And it maybe is not a job at the moment, maybe it's not something practical, tangible right now, but in time it will be. So it's a very interesting, really fast growing period. So it's like you can grow relationships and collectives, and create new memories, and better impact on yourself through tantra, through situations of adoration, through situations of sensitivity and lack of control, because we're basically asked to go for it here. But if you are not feeling within inertia, so what I mean is if you don't have your inertia developed, if you don't have your heart in the right place, or you just don't feel whole, and you don't feel connected or understood in a greater spectrum of life, if you are still looking around and feeling like, what is this? What is this life for? What is it all about? This can be very difficult to change. This could be a very difficult change. And for most of us who do not want to see the bigger picture of life, that don't want to see the global creativity that is going on at the moment, that are hiding away from one another and hiding away from the world, this is going to be a harsh truth buster. This is going to be a difficult time for those that have been holding on to their newspapers, not getting up out of their desks for a long time is going to be difficult. As I'm also seeing RSI, arthritis, and other types of diseases setting in for people that have been just sitting there doing the same thing over and over again. And also the mind becomes like a concave mind, because it's almost like there is no reason to think so much, but yet we do. So we are asked here to be fresh, to trust, to be sensitive, to be truthful, to guide ourselves, and perhaps on some divine level one another towards greater realities. But the thing here is not to grab onto anybody and pull them towards you, and that sometimes is difficult, especially if you like find that person that you feel can trust you and can love you and be there for you in time. But for example, right now they're not happy with themselves, or right now their greater marriage, like the marriage within themselves, is not happening, and then to pull another person into your world, into your vortex with so much power and faith is really hard, especially if you're one of the awakened people, you feel. And if you feel that it is right for you to now make the calls for someone else, very, very careful with that. So try to keep away from situations where you are becoming too prolific in your faith. If faith has been on the rise lately in the last few months, it's great because it was kind of meant to be. But if you are feeling like you are so much in truth and so much in you that you've got to grab someone else and make them better, that's going to rub off really badly on you later on in the year or in the coming year. So it feels to me that it's a great time to resemble the bigger picture. So it's like, you know, when we put things away for another time, you know, it's like, oh, I'll just do it another time. Say in about 4 years I'll create an ashram, or like, or in about 7 years I'll be a teacher, you know, or in about 10 years, if all goes to plan, there is no time anymore. There is no time. So for a lot of these people, probably you, who are overdue to express, people who are overdue to do that thing, and if you are seeing that there's 4 or 5 people connecting you to that energy, like you met somebody by accident, or your friends are doing the same things, or everybody's buzzing about it and everybody wants to go in that direction, please go in the direction of what is overdue. And this basically means to me plucking the best seeds, the best ideas, and the best pearls of wisdom now. Because Cancer definitely already has generated a pearl within you, perhaps a pearl of a great understanding, a great idea, or a great realization, a reality check, or something that feels really, really intense, and even sometimes perhaps overly ego, overstimulating, or something like this. It could be almost uncomfortable to carry this pearl around, as it would be for an oyster to create a pearl. It would be uncomfortable. It's like squiggling around this understanding or this compact idea or reality check that you've had recently. And now it's basically about putting that pearl into the marketplace. It's about putting it in the public eye. It's about putting your freedom of speech first and becoming perhaps someone of a generator of change for you, perhaps first and foremost, and on occasionally some of us are able to create greater change for other people as well. And if you are someone who is with a purpose and you've tried and tried and tried before and it's still there, and you have a fear that you might not make it, might not get it, please try and do that bigger thing, the bigger thing. And the reason for it is because it's too easy to get carried away here with the details. Like, time is not waiting for us anymore. Time to me feels like, okay, it's now, it's now, it's now. Come on, build structure. The first phase of Capricorn Saturn is going to be good. It's going to be good. I believe you. I trust you. What is that reason? What is that passion? So we're taking that Sagittarian edge that we were able to birth through Saturn's transit through Sagittarius, and now that reason and that knowing before it gets too practical and too mindy, you know, that passion, that passion for the greater blueprint, that passion for the greater truth and the greater opportunity for others, and the greater picture of the world. That's basically here. Okay, that's here, and it's becoming its own. But by now, I feel a lot of people have also realized that had a lot of loose ends. But this is the thing. When I was channeling for July, it came through that there's a lot of loose ends in people's lives. It's like, well, got to pay their debt on time, got to tick off that box, I got to make a presence there, I got to go here, I got to appease my mother, I got to make sure that my child is all right, I got to make sure that I'm in a business with these people, I got to make sure that I turn up, I got to make sure to iron my pants in the morning, I got to make sure to clean my windows, I need to, you know, make sure that the floor is clean, I got to make sure that everything in the house is functioning. perfectly, but it can't be perfect unless it's part of the greater whole. It can't just be about, like, say, living in a room or living in a house and clearing it, making sure everything's together, making sure that all the details are correct, because these are details and these can pop off and go wrong later on. So please choose one of the greatest missions in your life that is obvious to you. And also, everyone has got synchronicities now. Everybody should have a synchronistic relationship with someone. Everything should flow. It's like you think of them, they message you, you know, it's like you remember them, you know, you find something in the media for them, even if it's just social media, you know, even if it's just reading, even if it's something, even if it's music, really, really try to put it together. What have you been thinking about? So yeah, I feel like harboring an old story, don't be afraid of that story, because it feels to me that some of us might actually have a global picture within that story, even though it might be a bit negative for some people. I really hope that you don't. I really hope that you don't really care anymore. I hope that you are going towards youth, feeling, connection, security, perhaps people, greater collective mind, greater collective outcomes, and greater sharing of time. Greater sharing of time. So it's not just about like quality time. Quality time is a stretchable concept here, and it is truly time of quality time. So how is your minute impacting you? It's not just about, you know, what is your time worth financially, or it's not like just about sitting there on the couch looking good for each other. It's not about holding hands and making a romantic conclusion. It's not that. It is not just about this. It's about the holy time. Okay, it's about holy time, you guys. It's like holy time. How are you sparking and influencing other people through what you do and what you talk about? What are you creating through your work? How are you feeling every time that you breathe and every time that you speak and all the things that you see? So it's like the moment has to sink in, and it's got to become like one of those holy, happy feelings. It's like a holy, happy reunion with you now. By this here and now, there should be at least one or two people in your life that are going to stick forever or for a really long time, and it's really, really important as to who those people are. And if you have some kind of anxiety or issue about how good it feels to be around someone like because they're too good to be true, or like if you feel really surprised and really anxious maybe as to how beautiful it is to be around somebody who's been there for a long time and they perhaps have a totally different picture of life within them than you, and like what it is to be together, what it is to really come together, and what picture is the right picture. Can you identify yourself? Okay, so I've been sort of asking for ages to identify, and there's been a lot of my work with the rooster year and stuff, to involve yourself in only that which is right for you, to talk only about those topics that are truly activating and truly correct for your soul and your soul purpose, and not to be afraid if it is frivolous, not to be afraid if you're into collectibles or if you just really like to have things in your house and not really worried too much about the bigger picture. That's fine. It's just not to withdraw yourself from you. So what is it in your mind? What are you happy with? What is that everyday story situation that you are generating over and over again? And for us all, there's going to be a deeper truth revealed. And for those of us that have really, really been trying, perhaps the road is going to be very easy and clear ahead. And what I mean by trying is not to carry too much and to try to make mission of now. And it's not about hoarding stuff really that much. It's not about working out who's who. It's not about issues or vendetta or karmic cleanse anymore. It's not so much about taking time and looking inside you and trying to find those me moments, you know, those missing pieces, those pictures that you've missed of yourself. It's not that anymore. This is not how it is anymore. So this is about the purity of the here and now. And to me, it feels that it is not really about quality time that has been advertised to you by your parents. It's not about what one other person told you their mission was, or how people see the world. It's about your own sensuality. It's about your own truth, and it's about your union within you, within oneself. And then from this really freakishly intense moment in time, which I'm kind of having right now, from this intense moment of connection and like surrender to the time that you're spending with me actually as well, from this moment, okay, there is nobody else. There's just all things. Like from this moment of intensity, it's not really about making do. It's not really about studying for the greater good. It's not about starting up a business that seems legitimate, or making a life that seems kosher for another person to observe. This is just you and me. You know, this is you and me right now because you're watching me and I'm talking to you, but this is like universal time. This is universal time. And for those of us who are happy enough to just breathe and read the paper, and we don't really care about anybody else, unless you really love papers, you know, newspapers, and unless you really want to make it part of your ginormous mission in life, what are you becoming during this time? So the question here is very deep, and people are slightly obsessed with this whole eclipse time because they think of it as like a grim reaper in the sky and something just takes people out. But if you can remember my July prognosis for the signs, there's nothing really scary about it. There's actually so much youth and beauty and so much frustratingly beautiful and good times to be had for us all. But the reason why we don't accept the eclipse is because we can't just go for it sometimes. We feel like we can't, and that is perhaps because you have a different mission that is overlaying your own heart and soul, or you've got a different rhythm with people than you really have by yourself, or you generate lots of experiences and expectations that you don't really need to live through and things like that. So it's just about debris. And then what happens here is also with October windows, the October windows will show us what debris really is and what is the truth, what is the real unity and purity of the now for you and I. You know, it should really be no big mission to find out the crux of it all, and your community, I hope, already exists. And this, I feel, should be a protective, almost like a spell over your anxiety and fear as to what it is that's going to happen. What is it that's going to be? There is nothing like the now. For this is like the window to erase and at the same time plug into something really big. And for you too, perhaps, there is a soul mission, a heart mission, like a feeling, like almost like a futile feeling of come on, that could not even be, like come on, that's too perfect, that's just too beautiful, like it could not be. And then also there is things that are safe and a little sorry, and it's like a little story that you're spinning out of safety and situations as well. So if you can, please try to be honest and as connected as you can to this here window, because there is no place like home. Okay, little heels, there's no place like home, there's no place like home, there's no place like home, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. But here I hope for you that there is no place like you. So there's no place like you, there's no place like you, there's no place like you. You know, so you're your place, okay? I hope that you don't feel insecure about your home anymore, because you are the place. I hope that you're not trying to hold other people uncomfortable. I hope you don't try to hold other people accountable for your own joy and satisfaction, because you are that home. You are the place. You are the place of places. You are the people and the road and the sun outside and the furniture in your home. You're all of those things and more. And all of these objects, all of these feelings of rejection and dissatisfaction are just part of this learning world. And if you close your eyes, I mean, I really grow through this type of experience. You close your eyes and you really feel, you can really see that you are everything that's ever been. And that's the wonder of the now. That's the wonder of the now. That's the purity of the now. I mean, if you are here and you can see the mission, and even though it might be very big for you, perhaps it's really hard to fit those shoes, as I'm feeling at the moment as well. Perhaps when you close in on yourself and you feel like you are in love with your own body and you are in love with your own soul, and the home that is your heart and your flesh, like when you are feeling this, perhaps after a little while you will start to sink in that you are knowing of everything, and not because you are special, not because you're a starseed universal mind or something. You're actually all of it. You're all of it. And there is no place like all. And I hope that we are regenerating here and starting up like new generations and new regenerative blueprints for ourselves, where we can just regain the faith that we're all one people and that we can all go together, and that your truth and your product or your design or your mission or your heart, your talent, especially your talent, like where it's just easy and it's obvious. I really hope that it all connects and it all becomes that which you now see as the highest mission of you. And not just, you know, I need a new sofa, or like I need a new bed, or like I need to polish my car. Like please, please, like connect to the biggest picture. And if you are spending time with me, I mean, thank you. Sorry for taking it. But if you are interested, I'll tell you what my mission is becoming. I'm in Mexico. So I've just arrived in Mexico. I flew in yesterday, and I'm here with my friend Vicky Sinclair, and we are working on creating a new collective of people to help others heal, and perhaps this will become a center. This may become a center, this may become a holistic center, or it will become Vicky's idea and I will shoot off when it's time to a different direction, different dimension. So it's kind of up to all things to work out together. It's not about working hard here or making sense. It's just about putting these things together. It's like putting the obvious together. It's like putting our algorithms together, putting our hearts together and creating something new of meaning and grace. I'll probably tell you this, that I don't want to YouTube really that much anymore. I would really just like to create something tangible and real, and it feels to me that the true experience is in the now, in the flesh, in what you think, what you feel, what you eat, where you go, what you understand, and what you really realize about yourself within the connection with others. So YouTube's going to change, my focus is going to change, my focus on life is going to change. That's really exciting. I'm going to the United States as well. So if you are in Sedona, that is going to be my next stop, and perhaps I will go to a couple of other places in New York eventually. Which will be great and fantastical. I will keep you posted on the new missions if they do come to fruition. And it seems that there are a lot of factors that are pointing forward, which is wonderful. And it feels hopeful, I feel, perhaps for all involved, which is fantastic. And I hope that you also have missions and a greater light coming through. And if you want to, you can share them in the comment section below, if you like, with others, as to what is the greatest eureka or the greatest hope that you have at the moment, and how that's nurturing not just you, but everything around, and what is the greater vibration that you're reaching with this feeling or this thought. So thanks a lot, you guys. I hope that you had fun with my channel, and thank you so much for waiting for this. I'm sorry that it's been a while. And yes, enjoy your truth, enjoy your sincerity, enjoy your intuition, enjoy your mission, enjoy your greatness, enjoy your courage, enjoy your hope, enjoy these people that have been brought in not for no reason, but for good luck and for good healing, and I hope good missions and good transmissions. So thank you very much, you guys. Good vibes to you, and enjoy. I wish you courage. I wish you courage and love. Thanks.